Hello everyone. You're watching Linguistics and Literature with Imran. The topic of today's discussion is morphological productivity or productivity in morphology. In this lecture, we will discuss that some of the morphemes in English language are more productive, while some are less or non-productive. For example, we have a word happiness. In happiness, we have two morphemes. One is happy and one is ness. So when you separate the inflected form or the suffix ness, and you can add this ness with other morpheme to form a new lexeme. So it means that this morpheme ness is productive. We have example. For example, goodness, badness, sadness, and so on. While on the other hand, we have like words like warmth, right? We have, on the one hand, we have warm, and then we have the inflected form th, right? Or the suffix th. So you can't add this th with so many other morphemes. So it means that th, that is less or non-productive morpheme. We will discuss this phenomena in detail on coming slides. So let's learn the topic in detail. Introduction. Consider the example. So on the right column, we have some words. All of them are adjectives. On the left column, we have words. All of them are noun. So these nouns derived from these adjectives, like warm, warmth, true, truth, modern, modernity, pure, purity, happy, happiness, dark, darkness. So here we have rules for lexeme formation. So in the first case, warmth and true and truth. So we have a rule. Then when we add th with an adjective, it becomes a noun. And the second column, when we add ty with an adjective, it becomes a noun. Modern, modernity, pure and purity. And the third rule says that when we add ness with an adjective, it becomes a noun, like happy, happiness, dark, darkness. So we have here three kinds of rules for lexeme formation. The first one, that is th, that is the inflected form, th. Second, ty, and third, nes, right? So we have three types of rules for lexeme formation. Now, in each case, we have adjectives and nouns that are derived from them. All cases of transposition, by the way. As the first pass, we might hypothesize the three rules of lexeme formation. So what are the three rules? I told you that in A, when we add th, it becomes a noun. Okay? And B column, when we add ty, it becomes a noun. And the third one, when we add nes, it becomes a noun. Adjective, noun, adjective, noun, adjectives, noun. Right? Now consider the list of adjectives. If you had to make a noun from each of these, which of the three suffix would you choose? Note that you might be able to use more than one in some cases. Now, for example, we have lovely. So which one you can use with this lovely, right? To make a noun. Now, whether you will say like loveliness or lovelieth or lovelity. Most probably you will say loveliness, right? Here, cool. For cool, you might say coolness. You won't say the coolth or coolity. And for crude, you will say crudity or crudeness, both possible. Crudeness or crudity. And for evil, you can say evilness or evility, possible. You can say Googleability or Googleableness. And rustic, you can say rustic. What will you say for this? Rusticy or rusticity? Or you will say rusticness. And for this one, musty, you will say mustiness. And here, inconsequentiality or inconsequentialness, and felinity, and so on. So you should now think that you can use here, okay, what? You can use ty, you can use nes, but with no one we have used here in this example th. So it means that the morpheme nes, ness, and the morpheme ty, the morpheme ty, okay, or the suffix ty, or the suffix ness, or the morpheme ness, they are productive because we can use them with all of them. But why we can't use th with none of them? So the morpheme th is like a unproductive, or we can say less productive, right? It is fixed, we can't move it, while other we can move, right? We have more example also, like the past form of played. We can add this suffix ed with so many other verbs, like cooked, like helped, like watched, okay, like delayed. But in irregular form of the verbs, for example, we say sing and sang. In sang, we have two morpheme. One is zero morpheme, one is a regular one. So we can't add like this ng with other form of the verb, right? So then the irregular verbs, they are less productive or non-productive, while the regular ones are productive. Similarly, that we have a morpheme s, like when we say book and books. When you separate the inflected form or the suffix s from the books, you can add this s with so many other nouns, like pens, like chairs, okay, like we say papers, we say boys, we say girls. While irregular nouns, we have very little, like women, you can't add this at the end men or just en with so many other nouns. So irregular nouns, they are less productive or non-productive, while regular ones are productive, right? Chances are that there are some of these words that you would choose to use like ity with I choose like crude, we will say crudity or toxicity or googleability or rusticity or inconsequentiality, maybe felinity, and other that you would use like ness, for example, like loveliness, coolness, evilness, mustiness, probably boviness. Now, your choice might be slightly different from mine, as I told you that you can add anyone. You can say loveliness, but we can't say lovelity. You can say coolness, right? But we don't say usually coolity. So we say crudity, or we don't say like crudeness, but we say crudity, right? Or we say that evilness, but perhaps we also say that evility, right? There might be. So it means that ness and ty, they can be added to so many other adjectives to make them nouns, but at least not th, right? So your choice might be slightly different from mine, but I would be willing to predict that you didn't choose to use th with any of these adjectives. So it means that the suffix th, it is non-productive, unproductive, or less productive. It's not movable. We can't move this th to aid with other nouns or to form new lexeme, while we can use ness with other words or other morpheme to form new lexeme. As I told you, like from we can add this ness with sadness, with goodness, with believeness, with happiness, right? with so many. Just think and you can add. And ty also we can add with so many. Okay, like with brevity, right? And with like so many. Just think about this, that how many times you can use this suffix ty with other nouns. So what does this mean? In some cases, we can look at words, decide that they are complex and isolate particular affixes. But when it comes to using those affixes to create new lexeme, we have the sense that they are no longer part of our active repertoire for forming new words. As I told you, irregular nouns, irregular verbs, and th. So we can't add this th regularly. We can't move them. It's not like the active repertoire of our forming new words. We have no trouble using other affixes, however, even if we have never seen them on particular basis. For example, you may have never seen a noun form of the word like baven, but you may think, okay, that we can add ness. We can say baveness, or we can say bavinity. You might not have seen such, but your sense tells you that you can add ty or you can add NESS. But you have no trouble forming the word baveness or maybe bavinity or maybe even both. You can say baveness, bavinity, or you can both. But you can't add th with baven, right? Productivity. Now, processes of lexeme formation that can be used by native speaker to form new lexeme are called productive. So this is okay with it. What is productivity? When you form new lexeme, processes of lexeme formation that can be used by native speaker to form new lexeme are called productivity. Like as I told you, that we have happiness, and when we separate the suffix ness, and you can add this ness with other words to form a new lexeme, like sadness, happiness, coolness, right? Or hotness. Yes, so these are the example of productive morpheme. Those that can no longer be used by native speakers are unproductive. So although we might recognize that the th in the form as a suffix, we never make use of it in making new words. So you try to identify that what are some of the more suffixes that we cannot move them or we cannot add them with other words to form new lexeme. Just think about it. Now the suffix ity and nes on the other hand can still be used, although perhaps not to the same degree. Some might be used more and some might be used less. Most morphologists agree that productivity is not at all or nothing matter. Some processes of lexeme formation like affixation of th are truly unproductive. But for those processes that are productive, Now we have the sense that some are more productive than other. So we can't say, okay, that unproductive, but we can say that some are more productive than others. Factors contributing to productivity. What are the factors? A number of factors contribute to the degree to which we can use morphological process to create new lexeme. One factor, what is called transparency. Words formed with transparent process can be easily segmented such that there is one-to-one correspondence between form and meaning. In other words, when we attach an affix to a base, the phonological form, the pronunciations of both morphemes stays the same, and the meaning of the derived word is exactly what would we expect by adding the meaning of the affix to that of the base. Let's look at further at the case of ness and ity, this time considering the additional example in. So it means that transparent process can be easily segmented and we can separate, we can make part, and there is no one-to-one correspondence between form and meaning. For example, candidate and candidateness. So it has its own pronunciation and it has its own pronunciation. They can be segmented. Pink and pinkness, hardy and hardiness, common and commonness, and ticklish and ticklishness, cunning and cunningness, horrible and horribleness, pure and pureness, odd and oddness, crude and crudity, odd and oddity, pure and purity, dense and density, rustic and rusticity, timid and timidity, grammatical and grammaticality, local and locality, available and availability, and senile and senility. Now, in all the ness example in, it is easy to divide the complex words into base and suffix. Okay, the ness. Where we have the ness? Here we have candidate and candidateness. So we can separate candidate and ness. Ness is separate and candidate is separate. Pink, pinkness, separate and separate. Hard and hardness, separate and separate. Now, what it say further? It is easy to divide the example words into base and suffix. So we have a base and we have suffix. Which one is base? Here we have candidate, that is base, and ness is suffix. Ping is base and ness is suffix. So it has its own pronunciation and it has its own pronunciation. The base is always pronounced in the derived word as it is in isolation. And the suffix always creates a noun meaning state of being adjective, whatever the adjective words formed with the ness are perfectly transparent. Now the suffix ity is somewhat less transparent. It's less transparent. Although you don't see this when words are written in English orthography, when you pronounce them, you see that ity often has the effect of the changing the phonological form of its base. So when we add ity, it changes the phonological form. Sometimes it's stress patterns and sometimes both stress and phonological segments in the base. So timid is in isolation is pronounced with the stress on the first syllable. We say timid. While when we add like ty, okay, but when we add ity, it is added so stress shift to the second syllabus and we say timidity. We don't say timidity, we say timidity, timidity. So the stress, it shifts, while in the transparent one, the pronunciation or the stress, it doesn't shift, while this is less transparent. And with the base rustic, the whole pronunciation chain, rustic, in addition to the shift in stress form first to the second syllable, the final k of the base becomes s when ity is added. For example, we say rusticity. So shift is also and pronunciation is also changed. It becomes k, rustic and rusticity. Further, some of the words formed with ity have meaning that cannot be arrived at by combining the meaning of the base with that of the suffix, and like oddity, for example, is not merely the state of being odd. We would probably prefer the word oddness for the meaning, but a person or the thing that is odd, and a locality is not the state of being local, but a place or area. So thank you so much. It was all about what is morphological productivity or productivity in morphology. I've given an example. Please work on this and find some more examples that which morpheme are more productive and which are less or non-productive. Which morpheme are more transparent, okay, they can be segmented and the pronunciation do not change, while some are less transparent. As examples are given where the stress also shifts and also sometimes the pronunciation changes. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please provide your valuable comment in the comment section.